to the National Australia Bank Online Retail Sales Index report published in August 2013, Australian online retail spending totalled $13.9 billion. Bricks and mortar retail, or traditional shopkeeping, grew by 2.8% year on year, compared with online shopping growth at 14%. Many commentators are saying bricks and mortar retailing is in decline, while others are stating that a shift in the way we do business is needed, whether that's on or offline. The debate is heating up. What are the challenges for you as a business person or consumer? Welcome to Good Business. I'm Kathy Davis, and in this program we look at bricks and mortar versus online retailing. Joining me in looking at this fascinating topic is Associate Professor Margie Hume, a marketing expert from the University of Southern Queensland, Simone Georgette, an online trader, founder of Fabric Traders, and Jenny Smith, an accountant and business owner from Alliance Business Partners. To start off, Margie Hume, can I ask you to explain how you see this debate playing out?
I guess the thing that we've got to consider mostly with the concept of online retailing, which has been around for a long time, it's been around since the mid to late 90s, is that we have more educated consumers nowadays with higher expectations about the type of service that they want to receive and how they want to receive that service. So with online retailing, what we're seeing is consumers can search more freely. They can often find stock that's not represented well in a bricks and mortar or what we call an on-site setting or an on-site location. And they can have, they can wait and delay, and they don't have the bother, as some may call it, of shop assistants or customer service assistants coming in and asking them questions that they don't really want to engage in at the time. The other side of it is that whatever we're going to do in business, we need to do well. So whether we're in an on-site location, we need to have a really strong customer service focus that caters to what our consumers need, as well as, and you'll hear from our special guests later in the morning, if we're going to do it online, we also need to do it well, and we need to cater for the needs of what our consumers want from our on-site online experience.
What are some of the business models that need to be considered?
Well, it ranges from brochureware all the way through to a fully interactive and online service. And this introduces the concept of omni strategies, which, omni being all or everywhere in Latin, means that we can standardise or customise the way that we offer our service. For example, someone could order online and go on site and pick up. Yeah. Someone could order online a particular size or customise the product and then go to the bricks and mortar venue or the location and actually pick that up. So there's lots of different ways that we can plug, a little bit like Lego, that we can plug our service strategy together to actually meet the needs of our customers who, as I said, have very high expectations or higher, more educated expectations of what's available to them.
So you don't see a bricks and mortar actually dying?
Absolutely
but
not.
Perhaps enhancing or being enhanced by online?
I guess one of the issues that's always been around since we've talked about online retailing and online service is intimacy. And people do still desire social exchanges in retail. A lot of people go window shopping, they do the same thing online as well, because we know that behaviour exists. But people go into commonplace malls and shopping venues for more than just a purchase of a product. So what do we see with some of our really good online retailers is they're actually also integrating that kind of social experience through chat and discussion boards, product reviews, product exchanges. They're trying to sort of bring that into an online setting. So my belief is whatever we're going to do, we need to start to do better. If we're in an on-site, and Dick Smith said it, I think, about 30 years ago, find someone who's doing something badly and set up beside them. I think the same thing still applies. Good retailers with on-site experiences are still doing well. It's the poor experiences. And just another note on the omni strategy, when you're integrating things like telephone ordering into the equation, you need to have the shop assistant that's in the personal experience, having the personal experience, not sitting on the phone, talking to someone who's ordering online and your on-site consumers there, tapping away, waiting. Because just like on-site, they will navigate away.
So true, Margie. Thank you very much. And now let's go to Simone Georgette. Simone, hi, how are you? Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You've got your own online business.
I do.
You've also had experience with bricks and mortar.
I have had experience in both. I have a 10-year-old retail business, bricks and mortar, and I have a 2-year-old online store, which is totally unrelated to my bricks and mortar store. So I've had both.
At what point did you decide that you wanted to move towards online trading?
I just think it was just amazingly interesting and an avenue that I wanted to discover, and I'm just so happy I've gone down it because the growth has been just unbelievable.
Would you ever give up bricks and mortar?
Yes.
You would?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
So is online trading just booming and the other one is perhaps there to help feed the online business?
I just think it's chalk and cheese. I think the online business in the world is going to grow to a point, especially with the next generation coming through and the next, to be just phenomenal and will outsell bricks and mortar, absolutely.
Thanks very much, Simone Georgette. And now, Jenny Smith, you're an accountant and a business owner. What's your view?
I suppose what I have seen over the past 5 years is that there have been quite a lot of business failures, and some of those have been due to the bricks and mortar security that has to be provided to a landlord when people go into that retail environment. The online presence is certainly coming to the fore, especially with the younger generation. Everything is there at their fingertips. They are very IT savvy. They are very particular about what they want, how they want it, and when they want it. And we're finding now that some clients are having to do what Simone has done, where they have the retail, bricks and mortar as a starting point, but people have the perception that there is a lot more product online cheaper than what they can buy in that bricks and mortar retail outlet. And that's certainly true to the point where you are not having to pay landlords those high rents in the retail environment.
Absolutely.
You can essentially, depending on the type of product you are selling online, you can almost run the business from home, depending on how big your garage space is for storage, and use that as your distribution point. So you can run your business from home at a much cheaper price than you can by having that presence out there in the traditional retail environment.
Well, it certainly sounds like that's going to have an effect on jobs. We'll have a lot of people in an isolated way working with their own blogs and their own on-site businesses.
Yeah, my daughter's doing that at the moment. She actually has a website that she is running. So yeah, it's certainly the way to go in the future.
Thanks very much, Jenny. Margie Hume, it's about new business channels. What are they and how do we include them in small to medium business?
Okay, when you're looking at new business opportunities and new business channels, often cooperating with others. So you may have a business, I mean, what we're seeing now is a new advent of business, the business sector in distribution. So some people who were, traditionally in retail have now moved to create distribution centres, and they may share with a retailer who may be of a totally different type of product, but they store in the same factory space and they use the distribution expertise of somebody else to actually get their product out into the market.
Thanks very much to our panel for a wonderful discussion. It's good to get your view, everybody, and after the break we'll talk to accountant Jenny Smith from Alliance Business Partners and go on location with a business operator who's gone from shopfront to online. Welcome back to Good Business. Sam Gunders recently spoke with a small business operator who originally worked from a shopfront but made the move to online. It's been quite a journey for this entrepreneur.
were in a shopfront selling music, some arts and crafts items. Why move from that to online?
I moved from the bricks and mortar store just due to the fact of the overheads involved. There's a lot of overheads involved and there's a lot of physical labour involved in the shop. I started a business on Facebook and I was about one of the first people in my area to do Facebook, and I saw my audience growing, so I thought, you know, this may be an answer to not paying so many outgoings for my business. I feel that bricks and mortar businesses is becoming a thing of the past. I think it's very hard for a retail consumer selling products to do well in bricks and mortar. It's becoming more and more online. Most of your competitors are online. It's a destination shopping now has nearly died. I'm finding if you've got products and services and they're mailable products and services, the bricks and mortar industry is, in my opinion, dead. I considered the online option for the business due to the fact of the audience of my Facebook following. I was getting a lot of people commenting on my Facebook. I was actually selling items through my Facebook, and then obviously through eBay and Etsy, which is another online form. And that's when I started to figure out that maybe I could do this from home. Maybe I don't need my shop front to continue in business. If I knew what I knew now, I would definitely not have opened my retail store. Just the cost involved, the stress on your family, the working hours, nothing, you've got no freedom. It ties you to being in a certain place for a certain amount of time. If I knew what I knew 5 years ago, I would have invested that capital of starting that business into online advertising, different avenues, creating forums. I think I would have survived or been happier quicker. The fact that, you know, you've got iPads, iPhones. I mean, I use the Mac format, but I can find that even though I've got my home office, I don't need to be in my home office to conduct business. I can take it with me to the coffee shop. I can show friends online what I'm doing. I can be on holidays, and if I want to take a call or check on my website stats, I can do that. It just gives you more freedom in your personal life when you're selling online. Basically what I'm doing is I'm prospecting for clients, and what that prospecting means is I'm involved in communities online which like my product. I'm trying to give them tips and give them resources for free, which will then bring them back to my online business to try and create not only just my product but also a community revolved around my product. I've taken on, I work full time at the moment as well for another business, which is working for me because I can also do my online at night, and it's a residual income. It's a passive income for me, so it's actually creating business while I'm actually not physically working in it. And I'm finding with retail and the way the economy is at the moment, we really should be going to a social selling model. You still can't get away from talking to people face to face, but there are other ways of conducting business in this economy that's not a storefront and doesn't have the overheads that's involved in a bricks and mortar business.
Do you need to have some sort of office space, and if so, how do you handle that?
I feel I need to have an office space for my business. The reason being that you can get very caught up when you sell online. It can be a 24-hour thing. You can be on the computer forever and forget about your real life. So basically what I did, I set up a home office. Once I'm in that office, I do work, and once I'm out of that office, I try to not do it. Otherwise, being a mum as well, it can take up a lot of your time if you're continually doing online and not giving yourself a specific time to do that work.
Tanya Tebbett there, sharing her experience with bricks and mortar and her online trading. Jenny Smith is an experienced accountant and small business owner. She deals daily with these issues of successful trading for her clients and has to address it for her own company. We've heard discussion around bricks and mortar versus online. It seems that the key issue is how to effectively serve your customer or clients. Is that the heart of the issue, Jenny?
I think the heart of the issue really is trying to get that work-life balance. Tanya's already spoken there about knowing when to shut off. And I think in any online business, having the opportunity to do a 24/7 operation is certainly there. It is very tempting, but you do have to have that downtime. In the traditional bricks and mortar environment, obviously you open at a certain time, you close at a certain time. And if you're trying to do the mix of both, you then have to deal with that online operation when you go home, when you have other things that you need to do. So whenever we're giving advice to clients, we always have to focus on what do they really want out of this? What are they really looking at? What is going to be the best way of them to reach out to their customers? and try and focus on that for them in making that decision.
So speaking about reaching out to the customers, because the customer comes first, what's the best way to cater to a client's needs?
I think it really depends on the type of business that someone is starting. Obviously, doing a mechanical type thing, you really can't do that online. You can't fix a car online. You've got to physically take it into a workshop. Whereas the retail stuff, like Simone's been doing, and also Tanya's been doing, that stuff certainly can be done online. So you've got to have that mix and really identify what is the product or service that you're really trying to offer, and identify what is going to be the best way to get that out to the consumer.
Is there a tendency to get caught up in the idea that all businesses must have a website and cater for online trading? Is online for everyone?
I don't think online is for everybody. As I said, I mean, the mechanical side of things and transport, you just can't get around. Transport obviously has taken off a lot as a result of the online, because the distribution network has to get those goods from point A to point B. We have found a big influx in the transportation and courier type businesses following the online presence. But some of the traditional clothing retail certainly is diminishing because of that online presence and the fact you can get a lot of things imported from overseas much cheaper than we can sell here in Australia in a shop.
How does online impact on your own accountancy practice?
You can't have a relationship with a client too much online. Whilst we do service clients who are based either interstate or overseas, and there is a lot of communication on email, the fact now that you've got Skype and those sort of things, which reduces the cost of doing business at a distance, it certainly is a plus for being able to have that online sort of presence in the service industry.
And to wrap up, how do you see the future of retail trading?
Retail is going to be very difficult, I think, and even over the last 5 years it has been very difficult. We have seen a general decline in a lot of the traditional retail environment. So I'm really waiting with bated breath actually to see where the next 5 years takes us.
Do you personally advise your clients to consider an online presence?
I think it has to be mixed with what they're doing. And again, as I said before, people are wary about committing to those leases. So if they're really worried about losing their house, really assess where you want to be.
Wise advice. Thanks, Jenny. Tanya Tebbett offered some advice to our small business operators.
Tips for starting online businesses. I feel first you've got to get a gauge of what your market is and who your audience is. It's not a matter of just going and whacking up a website or starting your Facebook page without actually knowing who your audience is. So take a little bit of time, have a look at your product, see who you're competing against, see who's doing well. Copying people is not sometimes a bad thing. It's flattering to be copied as long as you're doing it, responsibly. But look at your competition, see what niche they've got, see if you can develop your own niche in that industry and go from there. There is a lot of research still to be done. It's just the same as buying a bricks and mortar store. You want to see what foot traffic's coming past the door. It's the same thing online. You want to see what sort of foot traffic you can have coming to your site. And you may even look at paid advertising online, whether it be through Facebook advertising, even looking at different models of selling your product. So there's lots of different things to look at, but my first thing would be to do your research. You still have to do research for online selling.
You're watching Good Business. Still to come, I'll catch up with the owner of a highly successful fabric business, Simone Georgette. And the final word from our panel members. Someone who's doing good business is Simone Georgette. She too has experienced the heady world of retail in the traditional bricks and mortar, but has developed an exciting online presence. Simone, you've established an online business. Why did you go down this pathway?
I found a gap in the market, and I think that's really important for anyone thinking about starting online. Don't try and compete with something that's been done. I found a gap, and the startup costs were very minimal. So I got a business partner on board, and together we thought, why not just have a go? So we did, and that was 2 years ago.
How much research did it take you to find that gap, or did you stumble across it?
We stumbled across it, which is how a lot of people start. We stumbled across it because we could not find what we wanted ourselves in fabric online. We found a big gap. We wanted to fill it. We thought about how to go about it, and I just implemented from there.
How do you attract your customers?
80% of our customers are attracted from Google and Google AdWords. So that's where most of our money, advertising money is spent. All our customers, the remaining 20% are word of mouth, social media like Facebook, Instagram, blogging, and that makes up 100% of our customers.
Do you spend a lot of time doing that, driving people to your business?
Yes, we used to. When we first started, we did it all ourselves. We now outsource most of it to be done professionally, as they say. So I sort of work behind the scenes on just moving the business forward, promoting it, and seeing how we can grow in the future.
Why do your customers come to you rather than a shopfront retailer?
If you ask any woman about fabric and the I won't say the names, but the two big fabric retailers, bricks and mortar, everyone has a bad experience. They can't find the fabric they want. They don't like the service, the price, the gigantic, enormous, huge retail shop. They come to us, and we've got all the fabrics that you can't find anywhere.
You are dealing, though, with a very tactile product. People want to touch it, feel it, feel what it might be like on their skin when they make a dress out of it.
Absolutely.
So how do you get across that when you're talking about online and blogging?
Yes, well, I was really scared about that fact that people would want to feel the fabric, but we haven't had an issue with it because we have a return policy. So if you get it and you don't like it, you don't like the feel of it, just send it straight back and choose something else.
You've cut it to a certain length. How do you manage that?
Yep, absolutely. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We always can resell the fabric in some way, shape or form. So I think that gives the customer a real peace of mind that if they don't like the fabric, they can send it back and it's not an issue.
Would you change what you're doing if you were able to start over again?
Probably just little bits in the beginning where we got the website built, outsourced, and the costs involved in that. We didn't research that enough and we spent probably a little bit too much money on that. I'd probably do that, some things different there, but pretty much everything we've done, I'm really happy with and wouldn't change.
Well, we've had some lively discussion. Can we have a final word from you all? Firstly, Jenny Smith, your final word, please.
Well, I think, Kathy, the secret will be whatever method of retail you choose, be it online or bricks and mortar, mitigate your risk, ensure you have work-life balance, and get a good accountant who can help you through the minefield.
Great plug, Jenny. Simone, what's your final word?
Kathy, I think bricks and mortar retailing has to undergo a significant change for it to work well in the future. I think online is going to outsell it every single time until that's done. And also, I think if you can find a gap in the market, go for it. It's cheap startup, and the possibilities are endless.
There's one possible minefield in here, and that is if they introduce a GST on overseas online buying.
Yes.
And Margie Hume, your final word.
I guess there's quite a number of things. One, research your marketplace. Know who your consumer is. We have more educated consumers who have a greater demand in the digital environment and digital economy to have flexibility about how they consume the product. But most importantly, whether you're online or on site, have a customer service strategy and treat those consumers well. Remember, negative word of mouth can bring a business down. You want positive word of mouth, you want new consumers, and you want them to come to your business as their preferred choice.
And that's what we as consumers are looking for,
Absolutely.
a little bit of service.
Absolutely.
My thanks to our panel members, Margie Hume, Simone Georgette and Jenny Smith for joining me in the studio. Thanks to Tanya Tebbett, our feature story as well. Join me same time next week when we take a look at the workforce in 2013. It'll challenge your thinking about how and where we work. Keep up to date with more information about today's program and additional information about business. Go online to goodbusinesstv.com.au. I'm Kathy Davis. Enjoy good business.